Have an economy that's entirely based on real estate profits and an international economy that is based in speculation climates here.
And some
so
people thrive.
You're wearing $300 boots.
Working class communities have been destroyed by this new system.
No,
it means that unions have been crushed. People make lower wages now than they have in 50 years, and that's why homelessness is rising. So it's a structural problem. It's not because people
We'll find you all paying jobs. How's that?
There are no well-paying jobs.
There's paying jobs.
There's not well-paying jobs.
Sure there is.
No, there's shit-paying jobs. And they are temporary, and when you get your hand cut off, you get thrown in the streets by WCB.
Hand cut off.
Yeah. There's a man here who had his hand cut off working in a sawmill down the street from here, and WCB gave him $1,000 a month for the rest of his life. They told him he was too old to retrain. He was 42 years old. 1 year older than me, and he was too old to retrain.
What do you do for a living? You're capable of working?
I do work. I have a job.
And
I have a job, and I still live in.
It's sucking money and a life out of. It's sucking a life out of these people that you claim to be helping.
I don't get paid a dime for this.
No, but you're sure as hell profiting from it, aren't you?
No, I don't profit in any way.
Yeah.
Can you tell me how he's profiting?
My profit is building a movement where people have more power to break the back.
Did you pay for his $300 boots on his feet?
The government.
No, he bought them on eBay.
You didn't buy them on eBay.
Should I not wear boots? Should my opinion matter if I'm barefoot standing in a puddle?
How did you get here?
Hey, your opinion don't
I
matter
drove here in a van that
nowhere.
I own a van. I'm a resident of the camp.
You live in Vancouver. We have your address.
I don't live in Vancouver.
Ivan, we have your address.
I don't live in Vancouver. I
We
lived
know
in
you.
Vancouver in 3 years.
Oh.
But if I did live in Vancouver, what would it matter?
It's posted online.
It doesn't matter. But don't stand here and say, "Oh, poor me, I have to live
I'm
in a
not
tent."
saying poor me.
I came here.
I didn't say poor me.
I came here from Holland with no understanding of the English language, with $100, some blankets, and a set of dishes.
Good for you.
And I've never lived in a tent. I have never stolen anything from anybody, and I've never begged in the streets, and I never will.
At your age, you are a baby boomer. So you are a historical beneficiary of the history's greatest moment of capital accumulation.
And she never sat there with her hand out saying,
never in
"Gimme,
history
gimme,
has an
gimme,
economy expanded as much in Canada as it did in the post-war years. My dad is a truck driver who was able to buy a house in Richmond for $10,000 in 1974 because of a massive growth of an economy here. He sold it for $300,000 10 years later. And that is a historical benefit. It's not because of his hard work or cleverness. It's because of the time he was born and because he was a white working class man in a city that benefited him, that was oriented towards him.
Does it matter what color he is?
Yes, it does.
Does it?
Because it's historically benefited white people more than any other community.
Every immigrant that's moved into this community is kicked butt.
Not every. Not people who are not poor working class people who are forced into dealing with this same brutal housing market.
Immigrants don't have the same mentality we do as far as give me, give me, give me. I don't want to work for it. It should all be a handout. They bust their butt and make it happen.
So your analysis of people feeling that they deserve not to work is my analysis is that there is a system that is alienating people, that they feel there's nothing to invest in, that the world's abandoned them and hates them, and that they don't want to work because the world is not something worth investing in. It's a condition of alienation. It's feeling dislodged from the world that used to value them. Someone who felt that they were valued, that they had a place, now feel that they are cast aloft, that they are hated and not valued. That problem of social alienation is made worse by people judging individuals and blaming them for being poor.
Do you guys want jobs? Do you want to work?
What kind of question is that?
Do you want jobs?
I think it depends on what the job is. Do you accept any job?
Yes.
I would if I was starving.
Yes.
Oh, well.
I would if I needed a house.
But not if you were a survivor of deep trauma and that you could barely get yourself out of bed.
Deep trauma.
Stepping stone.
Almost everybody I know who's on the street is a trauma survivor.
Of what trauma?
Of multiple traumas. Of childhood sexual abuse.
Oh.
Oh.
That just came in. There wasn't sexual abusers back like
absolutely
when I was a kid?
But it's a combination of factors. So there are, you know what, if you're interested in the causes of poverty and why people end up on the street and end up in addictions,
we should read
there are countless studies about it. I haven't written a book.
A study.
There are countless studies that look into this problem in depth, and I encourage you to read them. I encourage you to do some research.
The case. This is the case that I got. What I want to know is, they're supposed to provide tent city people with this stuff in order to comply and maintain the compliance with the fire safety regulations to the best of their abilities, the occupants require support and services to be provided at no cost to them, including the following: fire-resistant tents, fire-resistant tarps, cold weather sleeping bags, cold weather clothing, and in-tent heaters subject to the safety of the approval of the Maple Ridge Department. And I want to know why we got illegal immigrants crossing our borders illegally, and they get free army tents, heated army tents with wooden floors and electricity and free food and everything, and this is how we treat our Canadian citizens? Well, that's a disgrace and that's a shame, and these people have the same rights as the rest of us, and they deserve better, and they have, in order to enact a fire safety code, they have to provide people with this first. And I'm sorry, I don't have an answer. I don't have a solution, which I know you're looking for. But I'm sitting on the fence. We have rights too. Now, in order for our rights to be respected, they have to do this, and then we can go on with the fire code. And I want to know who is going to enforce this. Have you seen this case law?
Yeah.
Well, I've read it. And it says fire and safety regulations, entrance and exits, 2 points of entry. Exits are to be maintained along 223rd Street at all times. Unobstructed width of each to be 2 meters. Who's going to check all this? Who is going to check? Exits must be maintained unobstructed and openable without keys or special knowledge at all times. Pathways between occupied areas, minimum 1 meter width, with no overhead obstructions and kept clear at all times. I want to know who is going to enforce all of this. The fence. Individual tents and associated personal belongings must be clear of fences. Do you see that? I don't. But we got to provide these people with the stuff that I just listed before they go in there like gangbusters. Everybody has rights. Some rights are more dominant than others. And right now we're talking about life, liberty, and security of the person, in accordance with the principles of fundamental justice, which is undefined. When people quote the law, they just say, oh, yeah, we have the right to life, liberty, and security of the person. Yes, you do. But in accordance with the principles of fundamental justice. And what is that? That is undefined. That's in the case law. But have you seen anybody come down and provide these people with those tents and everything?
Well, Linda, they
What? That's not true.
Every single time the bylaws or the fire department or anybody came down.
Yes, I understand that. That's right, but I'm talking about now.
Where did you get that idea
And
from?
police were allowed access to this camp every week.
Okay, just a minute. I'm talking about now, not then. I'm talking about today. And today is, they're supposed to do this.
Yeah. They've never answered the last question.
Doesn't Tracy Scott have all the tents?
What is the safe form of heat that people can use? The fire department has refused to
Well,
answer
I'm
that
telling
question.
you, we can erect army tents like they do for our illegal immigrants.
Well, they're not illegal.
Safe.
They're refugee claimants.
They can't,
So
but
as
they won't
Canada's a
like that.
signatory to the International Refugee Convention, and so refugee
Well, wait
claimants
a
can
minute.
cross the
Okay,
border to
just
make
a
a claim.
minute. Only, yeah, but they're a third party. They're not, you know what, to make a claim like you said, they got to come from Syria or something. Yes, they do. I've read the third party claim. You cannot go from the United States to Canada unless you've got a bomb dropping on your
No, you
head.
can't
I have
do it.
read the
Propane
You can't
cylinders?
cross the border legally, but you can
Propane
cross
cylinders
illegally
in the
with no
dumpster?
port of entry.
It'll make big boom.
Which is why people are
Yeah, but
forced
it's
to
an
cross.
assumption.
They only pass the
They're alleged refugees, not legitimate. They have to go and have a hearing. But I'm talking about the tent.
Yeah.
I'm not talking
I
about their
just think
status.
this is a very